It's a million-dollar question this tax season. Just how much will I put in my pocket? But there's a new tax law on the books that has a lot of Oklahomans clutching their pocketbooks. Plus, killed for the thrill of it. Tonight, the bloodshed that unfolded over social media and the teenagers accused of doing it.
You're watching Oklahoma's News 4 at 10.
And that is where we begin tonight at 10. A thrill kill that started with a plot hatched to steal drugs and money. Thanks for joining us. I'm Jolene Chaney.
And I'm Eli Roberts, in for Kevin Ogle tonight. An 18-year-old murdered, allegedly by a gang of complete strangers, and it was all over pot.
And tonight, the alleged gunman still on the run. News 4 Siobhan Bryan joined us now live with more on the plan that was made in OKC, Siobhan, and then it happened in Chickasha.
That's right, Jolene and Eli.
We will keep you posted.
Also tonight, the ultimate punishment for a trio accused in the murder of a pregnant mother. It's a story we followed since last spring. Shalia Toombs, allegedly murdered over a backpack. We told you that back in 2018 that 3 people have been arrested in this case, and they're all going to be facing the death penalty. But tonight we've learned that 2 more have been arrested and charged in connection to the case. Their names are Cecilia Morales and Michael Mate. Tonight, though, those 2 are walking free. News 4's Bill Miston joins us now live with that story. And Bill, what are you learning tonight?
Well, Eli, those 2 people receiving a
Also tonight, changes at a Metro halfway house after 2 cases turned into chaos for police. We brought you both of these stories as breaking news right here at 10 p.m. The first story involving a man who was naked and apparently not afraid as he went on a rampage inside the Carver Transitional Center. 2 police officers were injured, all while that man wasn't wearing any clothes. Then last night, we told you about a shooting involving officers. And once again, it was an inmate who walked away from the Carver Center, all before charging a policeman with a crowbar. He was shot, but we are told he will survive those injuries. The Carver Transitional Center is supposed to be a place for change where inmates can turn around their lives, but turn around no more. We are told that 15 inmates are going to be moved out. They will be hauled back to prison. CoreCivic is a major correctional company in the United States, and they are in charge of the Carver Center. They tell us that they are investigating both incidents. Will you owe more or will you owe less? That is the million-dollar question this tax season. With the partial government shutdown and that new tax law now on the books, some taxpayers are concerned about seeing a smaller refund or maybe no refund at all. Our In Your Corner team getting to the bottom of things tonight.
Your corner.
And the In Your Corner bottom line, filing your taxes electronically and using direct deposit is still going to be the fastest way to get your refund. There are a number of useful online tools for taxpayers, and that includes irs.gov. You have a problem for Scott Hines and the In Your Corner team? All you have to do is call our IYC hotline or send us a message on our website. It is a state-of-the-art park with a $132 million price tag. But tonight, there's been a snag in Oklahoma City's new Scissortail Park. The highly anticipated project is running around 3 months behind. However, park designers say it's going to be worth the wait. News 4's Cassandra Sweetman joins us now live with a sneak peek at the progress. Cassandra.
Eli, the first half.
Forewarned weather.